Hi, everyone. Welcome to GH Mini Spotlight here on JLJ Media. I'm the JLJ of JLJ Media. So everybody get over it. It's Sunday. It's the last soap of the day we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you're here. I'm sorry if some of you guys were trying to follow the other link. Hopefully you'll find this one because I was there's a little mix-up going on, but we're here now. Talk about what happened in Port Charles this last week. It was the Nurses Ball Telethon. I have three people here just chomping at the bit to talk about it. And to my left, there is only one, Miss Lacretia Lyon.
That's me.
Yeah. Also, Caitlin on Forever and a Day, which is also here on JLJ Media. And below her, my girl, I just love her to death. And she's doing all kinds of things. She's the curvy critic, Miss Carla Renata.
What's up, y'all?
And he's back, bitches. It's my frenemy, my arch nemesis, that I still love, Frank Moran.
This week. Oh, what a week.
What a week. We're going to talk about it, folks. We're going to totally talk about it. I like it, Carl. I love it. We're going to talk about it. So hi, guys in the chat. I'm sorry we had to change some stuff. So hopefully you guys will find us here. People are coming in. So it's good. As you're coming in, let me tell you a few things before we start. There's a lot going on JLJ Media today because it's Soap Sundays. Already out there for all of you people to listen to and watch. There is the Y&R Mini Spotlight. We talk about Courtney Hope leaving Bold and Beautiful, going to Y&R, and what that means. So that's on that. It's already out there, wherever you find, streaming, everything there. We have the B&B Mini Spotlight with me, Tammy Govea, and Amanda Russ. We talk about why Brooke and Rich are getting on our nerves. And that's on right now. You can go to JLJ Media to see that one. And Forever and a Day podcast, the Every Day After Show with me and Tony Moore Jr. The Shade is Real. And we have Christina Sullivan on, who plays Stephanie. Stephanie's nasty on the show. We talk all about it, but Christina's lovely, and that's out also. And then now, of course, if you're our sister channel, Dish and Days, they had Lindsay Arnold on. She plays Allie Horton. She did a great job on there. And they had her on live. And you go to Dish and Days. At Dish and Days with 2 capital Ds. Go to their channel, like them, and that is out. And that is all of your soapy goodness. And we're the caboose at the end of the train. We're going to ride it out till the evening.
We're the junk in the trunk. I like it.
I like that metaphor at first. I'm like, that didn't, I was going for something, and sometimes it doesn't work. So,
The basically bell.
Yeah, the basic bell. So yes, it's like, it didn't really, I tried. Sometimes I hit things out the park, sometimes it just goes falls flat. So that's how that works. But this is all live, and we're here. Everyone, how did you feel about this week's Nurses Ball Telethon?
Well, do we want the happy opinion, which will be me, or what I assume Frank will have to say?
I like shade. I'm cooler in the shade. I also like happy too. I'm a happy person. So whomever wants to go first can go first and tell what they think about the week.
Lucretia, let's start off on a bright note.
Yeah, so of course it has to be Mrs. Brightside then. What did I say last week? All I want is my sad Valentine number. And yes, he just does himself out every year. When James Patrick Stewart now with an original song, which I really like that, is that for the most part, all of it was original songs by the performers, which was really cute. And yeah, the suspenders, you see why Larry King had so many wives. But yeah, and I loved the idea of the telethon. I was like, what a brilliant way of doing this, so it'll save money. Same thing with the original songs. I thought they did the best they possibly could with exactly what they had. There was really only one thing that bothered me, and it was like Elizabeth and how they were having her act at some points. But even then, it's like, hey, at least we're getting the 4 of them in a storyline. I didn't even hate Michael and Willow together this week. There was the cute little moment with did I really just say that, with the offer you can't refuse? And I'm like, okay. I mean, this was cute. Yeah, like, of course, I think we all wanted to see Chase's number, but I got my Valentine, so I'm good. It was a great week. I was thoroughly impressed.
That was brought up in here that Chase and Sasha's number was cut. So, so I guess it was cut. Carla, what do you think about the week?
I kind of...
Oh.
Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Does your mom bring you booze too?
Exactly.
Oh, no.
Your face is hilarious. You're like, excuse me.
Because sometimes she's not quite sure if on the other side of this door is me talking on the phone, on speakerphone, or if I'm on the computer until I say mom, and then she knows I'm on the computer. But I digress. Anywho, this is the thing. I loved the idea of the telethon. I thought it was a really creative way to deal with the whole COVID shutdown pandemic situation without actually calling it out and saying that that's what it is. But then they say first responders, and then you're like, so what are they first responding to? So there's that. The second thing is I appreciated the fact that in the beginning of the Nurses Ball, they did the whole social distancing with Nina and Carly, but that was the only time in the whole episode that they social distanced. So I'm like, okay. And then the other thing was, there was that number between Nina and Jax where her crinoline underneath, nobody would have ever seen this but me, but she had that black crinoline underneath that orangish red dress, and it ripped. So every time she would twirl, the black crinoline would twirl like 5 seconds after she did. And it was, I think the only reason I noticed that is because I used to dance. So I was just like, why is that crinoline following her around the number? It looked like a spider, like just crawling up her butt and her legs through the whole number. I'm like, what's happening? I don't understand. But what I do want to acknowledge is that a lot of the fans for the GH mini spotlight and the GH report called it a long time ago about Taggart being alive. So I was like, okay, all right, y'all, but we'll get to that in a minute. But that Nurses Ball, it was, it was what it was. They minimized it and they centered it around the nurses, which I think was a good thing. It wasn't that big splashy thing where they have all these people running around and twirling and flipping and carrying on. It was just Amy and Epiphany and Felix. And that's probably what it should always be. You know what I mean? Because it's supposed to be the Nurses Ball. And then there was, and I'm sure we'll talk about this too, how we just found that they switched Sam's and didn't announce that they were switching Sam's. So I'm like, okay, so there's that. And then Miss Brooklyn is on the floor with scissors. And I'm like, so where did the scissors come from? Why does she have scissors? It was just, there was a lot of stuff that happened that was questionable for me. But overall, I enjoyed the week. But there was a couple of things where I was like, why is that happening? I don't understand.
Frank. Hey, Frank, your turn.
This week was terrible. I mean, yes, okay. This is all given with the grain of salt. Yes, I know that the production had a insurmountable obstacle to overcome, and that is the current production guidelines that everybody's operating under. So yes, that is the layer that this is all going under. So if this didn't exist, we would have had the Nurses Ball as usual, but we have to make do with what we got. So, but I still feel like that doesn't mean I can't be critical of it, and I'm going to be critical of it.
You wouldn't be you, Frank, if you weren't critical.
Exactly. Like, well.
So now we're doing a telethon, which is a great idea, but I was done where everybody within the first episode, everybody that came down the red carpet kept on harping on the first responders. Yes, we got it the first time. Everybody that comes down, that was the only bite that they would give to Nina and Carly. Like, yeah, we got it. Let's move on from this. This is the big thing about its deception. It's going to be making its big debut. They're on the step and repeat. Not once there's no photographers for this. Why do we even have the step and repeat set up for this? We don't. As much as those stupid, cheesy photos that they always do at the Nurses Ball, where they have that awkward interaction with whoever the MC is, and then they go down to the step and repeat. And they have the really cheesy photo. We didn't even get any of that, like, watch, because we get none of that. That's ridiculous. The other thing is, like, so now this whole thing is just saluting telephone operators. That's what we're doing. We're highlighting these telephone operators that are coming through. And they're very casual, dressed down T-shirts, which is nice because we're just doing that we're just doing a telethon. But why are we making a big deal? Like, so now you're watching the show to care about these people you shouldn't even care about anyway. But now we're just saluting them because they're just going to be operating a telephone for a night. Like, what? Why are we doing this? This is crazy. And no other telethon have you ever watched do they go like, let's all introduce everybody that's working the phones. Let's salute their greatness. No, nobody cares.
Tony Danza
one.
one.
You only care about the musical numbers. That's all you care about. Who cares about these people? And also, what kind of town? Like, all right, Carla, Lucretia, James, who is PI extraordinaire of Los Angeles?
Right.
Nobody
Right. That part.
Nobody would give an
That
answer for that. Yes, so the fact that they give that to Spinelli and Sam, PI extraordinaires, who would even know that?
First of all, and the spy thing, not to interrupt you, but the spy thing, like who's going to announce on a red carpet that they're a spy? Like you just gonna tell everybody you a spy? Now everybody know you a spy? Really? I can't.
Yeah, y'all are unaware of Agent Carmichael from Chuck? I mean,
That's so funny. That's so funny.
Yeah.
In one sense, they fully crystallized what my reality of this should be, was that it was just one TV camera and Nina and Carly, who aren't great MCs. That's exactly what it should be, and it should be running on the basic channel of whatever PCPH basic cable local access channel. That was it. That crystallized that perfectly. We didn't have George Pinocchio. We didn't have anybody else around there popping up. Just to show you just like how little people really do care about this.
You know, George Pinocchio wasn't coming to GH in the middle of COVID. George Pinocchio is at his house in front of his Hollywood sign with his lights going like this behind him. He ain't coming to ABC, to General Hospital for the Nurses Ball.
I never wanted him there. It was always a lame. So this was perfect. This is perfect.
I love it. Oh, the shade.
This is just a one load dude with this camera, you know, watching these two ladies. Not at some points, not even hitting their camera. They'd be looking at the wrong camera for a second, looking around like, what is this, guys? This is so bad. This is very bad. So also I liked whoever was directing the first day as opposed to the rest of the week. I felt like the big note was, hey, let's tone down the really super space oddity of all these tables that they're standing at. Because that first day they had that really bright fluorescent purplish glow. And then after that, I was like, let's tamp that down, guys, because that looks so ridiculous. And there was no rhyme or reason to where people would be stationed at. People were just bouncing around. There was like, usually at a telethon, if there's an operator, you've got your seat. You might take a break for a minute, but you're coming back to that same spot. Everybody's just willy-nilly all over the place. So I'm like, what is this? What is this? And I always like the lone table where you'd see like, whether it's Valentine so he could look lonely, or Brando so he could like, I'm on the outs with everybody. I have to sit at the singles table for this. So awful.
Oh my God. And that's
There's more.
I
have much more.
We'll see you guys next time. I mean, literally, you guys all just killed me.
Yep.
I had to laugh because you were like, I'm gonna go home now, but I'm just gonna leave. Like the telethon's over. Well, now we'll just go home and take on Wiley. Well, no, bitch. You're commissioned to come help all night. But we're gonna go home. Oh, well, now I announced I'm pregnant. We're gonna go home. Well, no, are you giving birth tonight? I mean, shouldn't you be there? Finish out the deception things. Like, so you announced you're pregnant. Like, Anne, are you ready to fall over? I mean, I know what's going on here. So it's like your water break. Like, no, you sit there and you finish the telethon. Like, hello, that part killed me. I was kind of like, okay, we just get up and just leave and go. All that water. Everybody decided something. We were thirsty, folks. I wasn't thirsty. I was like, okay, sure. Everybody's in the bathroom hanging out. I'm like, okay, sure, okay, this week.
Did you peep that they had no alcohol? They just had the water and the tea.
Yeah.
The big, ginormous bottles of tea.
They're huge.
And I think it took me to the fourth episode to finally see somebody that was actually manning those tables, like they were supplying them. Because otherwise, it was just empty all the time. There was nobody working these little areas. So it's like, I would only imagine the reality is like, go out and restock the little bars and then go hide. Just go hide Just stay away.
Well, it is a hotel, and that is what they do. I'm like, you know how many conventions I've been to, like in hotels? Yeah, it's exactly like that. They do just go restock them and then leave and hide. You don't see them standing around. So that was accurate.
All right.
It's still crazy.
Yeah.
Oh yes, and check out my interview with Chloe Lanier. It's out right now. Go ahead and check her on Chapter Media. She talks about, she gives some little tea about why she's not General Hospital on contracts. So watch that interview. And I'm going to go into that. I want to say hi to everybody in the chat room. We got 27 people in the chat room and counting, so thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate it.
I can't wait to tear into this storyline because this storyline was dumb. The dumb.
Okay, I have to admit. Okay, so sorry. Marlon Wallace says, if you lived in Veronica Mars, you would know Veronica Mars.
Yeah, in Neptune. Yeah, like.
Mm-hmm. I agree with Carla. Yeah. Like, if you're a spy, you shouldn't be telling people you're a spy. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that. Okay. Anybody, this is just my little rant. Anybody who walks, okay, so when she says Brooklyn, no, bitch, I'm gonna keep going to go talk to Mac. Like, why would I turn around and then walk towards you? She's like, this is the last quarter, bitch, is the last quarter man you mess with. And all of a sudden, Homegirl's like, no, bitch. It's like, I was like, no. Why? Don't you watch Soaps Brooklyn? When someone threatens, you got somebody in trouble, you go out the door and you run to the police because he's outside. Don't go back to her and try to take care of yourself. And now her ass. I was like, that was the dumbest thing on earth.
Did fit Brooklyn.
What killed me the most about that is that it shouldn't even gotten to that point. She's outside hearing this whole conversation, and instead of taking that moment to either call Michael or call Mac, she decides to go in first and have a conversation and then decide to make some calls. What? I can't stand storylines where people aren't operating at the top of their intelligence.
Well,
and it's like,
the problem is they're trying to facilitate a future storyline, which is now she can't sing or something. Like something's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, and her and Dusty will get closer or whatever. That we know, we all four of us know what's going on. None of us are dumb. We watch these subs enough. But I think the problem, is when they do something like this, it seems so forced. It's like, it seems so kind of dumb. It's like, you could have facilitated that some other way, but the way you did it made Brooklyn seem so dumb. Because if you hear her saying kidnap, wouldn't you call the Quartermain house and be like, Granny, it's time. Well, I guess be Aunt Monica, check on homeboy. Like, wouldn't you be like, kind of like, trying to play both and trying to get that going, but it seems so forced.
Well, to me, I almost thought that this was set up a while back because as we always saw when Amanda was Brooklyn, is that they really avoid showing her sing. And maybe it's because Amanda isn't a singer. That's why I was surprised with Brianna Lane, who is a singer, that we didn't at least get something for the Nurses Ball before this. But I guess that this was kind of already in motion. That, I saw it coming. It is interesting that it was Nell, but yeah, she literally stuck her neck out there. Of course, Nell's going to slash it. But yeah, the scissors, she had them, I think, trying to cut Julian's hair earlier, but saying she was cutting her costume for a Chicago number. But yeah, like, it was set up, and I agree that Brooklyn behaved idiotically, but that is kind of, she is a hothead to a degree and was fired up and probably wanted to get one on Nell to brag about it. Because that's what these people always do, whether you're the killer or not, or just the person who's got them. You're like, oh, yeah, come on, I got you. And, of course, that's not what happened. But I do feel like I kind of saw this coming, a Brooklyn ending her career. And, yeah, like we say, getting closer with Dusty or Chase or somebody else.
Yes.
Well, that whole scissors, as Carla mentioned, though, is that after we see her slice Brooklyn, she then wipes down the scissors, then grabs the scissors again with her bare hands and sets them down. What the hell was that all about? And if she wants to try to go like, oh, it's a Brooklyn suicide route, cool. If that's your way to try to convince people, like, no, she was trying to commit suicide. Then, but Brooklyn's fingerprints aren't on the scissors at all either. So if she wanted to try to make that move, then she should have put Brooklyn's hands on there first. She didn't even do that. Mm-hmm. So Nell's fingerprints are still on these scissors. They're still on there. Terrible.
Yeah, I just thought it was just ridiculous. And I think we'll get to the Julian part a little later. I think this part of me was just kind of like, I saw it coming on some level, not this way, but it felt a little too like, that's a little too forced. You could have done it another way. You made Brooklyn look really dumb. I guess she's a hothead, but I just didn't. It didn't sit right with me. I don't know, Carla, what do you think?
I don't have any thoughts about any of that because it was just like, what is happening? You know what I mean?
It was dumb.
And we saw Nell kept on saying, "Hey, I'm going to be performing tonight." Are you guys bummed that we never even saw the performance?
Yeah, because I was wondering which song from Chicago she was going to do because she didn't say. I was like,
curious.
He had it coming.
You know that's the she would have did the whole thing by herself.
Oh yeah.
She the one that has it coming. Oh, that child gets on my nerves.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I haven't laughed this hard in a long time. So yes, so that's
because we saw Lucy freaking out when they couldn't find Jordan, but at no time does she freak out that BLQ. It's supposed to be their big debut. Like, where's BLQ? There's no emergency.
Yeah, there was something.
And every time I hear them say BLQ, I think about a BLT sandwich. Like they couldn't come up with a different name. Every time I hear BLQ, I'm like, "Ooh, I'm hungry. I could use a BLT." Like,
that's so funny. That does sound
Yeah,
good.
it's like a barbecue BLT sandwich is a BLQ.
That sounds good.
We're going to start that, yeah.
That sounds good right now, actually. But no, it's true. It's like there were some things that were missing, and people are talking about that in the chat room right now. We got 30 people watching now. They're all talking about how there were things that like, we didn't have Chase and Homo's number. We had BLQ never did anything. Nell didn't do anything. It's like, it's just weird. They were Deception didn't have they didn't have it because you obviously ruined the announcement because Maxie's pregnant with Peter's baby. And then, okay, I'm just gonna morph into that for a second because you know how much I hate that storyline more than life itself. I want it on the record every single week on the show how much I hate that storyline. I hate that storyline. But the reason I'm bringing it up right now is that when they had Anna, thinking back to what Robert said about her not really being his mother or whatever, I'm like, they need to get that all taken care of and all that kind of whatever. Because they're like, you're Granny. It's just like, I'm Granny. I'm like, it's bugging me.
Yeah.
I think maybe they have some new writers that came on after COVID that weren't quite as adept at the history of the show. Because some of the stuff felt like it was a leapfrog moment. I'm like, how'd we get there? Didn't they forget about this, and this? Did y'all feel like that?
They're all on Carla's side about the BLT. They're all on Carla. No, I agree. I mean, I don't know if there's different. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I should look and see who the writers are. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden, it's like now we're going back to that again, I guess. But her and Peter in a good. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I was just like, now they're showing that flashback, and I'm like, oh, okay, well. So it's like,
well, I kind of thought that was coming back anyway because it has to, right? Because nobody wants Peter to be Anna's. It makes sense that he's Alex's, and that's the memory swap. And it shocks me that they've just now waited to do that. So I was expecting that to come up, just not really here. But I guess being a grandma might make you think that.
I guess. And also you got Spinelli and Squirt Robert walking around like we got and then that obviously didn't happen because she announced the big pregnancy.
Wait, let's talk about that moment.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I liked the moment with Spinelli and Nell. Like, that was one of Nell's most likable moments, and not in like an evil fashion, because she's just like, screw it, I'm giving
That's
it to
what
you.
I was going to say. I was going to say that, and then I was going to say how comical it was that she dropped that little tidbit of info, and he went running out of the room like his pants were on fire. I'm like, really? That's how we going to end this thing? Okay.
Remember, this is somebody that was called in front of whatever the viewing audience of Port Charles is, PI extraordinaire. This guy is running around like a dope this whole telethon night. It just
clearly he's not PI extraordinaire, because if he was PI extraordinaire, he would have known the information that Miss Thing gave him. Oh, please, I can't. It was they were wearing me out this week. I'm like, what are y'all doing? But I thought about you, Frank. You know why I thought about you?
Why?
Because Kelly Monaco was back and they played that music.
Oh.
And
Oh, yeah?
I hollered. The minute it started, I hollered. I'm like, where is Frank Moran? So I could just
I
laugh.
thought the exact same
Me
thing,
too.
because
Me too.
it was just like, yep, Frank, there's that music.
It's for you,
I know
Frank.
we'll say
All for you,
something.
Frank. All for you.
at his face right now.
I did it all for you, Frank.
Look at him looking like he's smelling
for you,
Guys,
Frank.
we'll forget that they're in love. We should play this really terrible song right now.
Pinky cheese. Oh, and how about they switch the parole officers? I was like, who is she? And they didn't make no announcement about who she was. She just I'm like, is that the same black? No, that's not the same black. Do they think that we think this is the same black woman? We don't all look alike, General Hospital ABC.
I don't think she was a big enough character to warrant the recast announcement. She was like a tertiary character at best.
I'm gonna need when anybody shows up on that screen that is not the person that we are used to looking at. I'm gonna need an announcement. If they can do it for the kids, they can do it for the black woman that's the parole officer. I'm just saying.
I love it. Oh my God.
Like,
I love it.
This is understanding that the Nurses Ball is operating as a telethon now, which Lucy made every time she came back. Yes, we get it. We get it. But still, you're running a professional TV operation. So you, even though we know in a real world production, they're limiting the amount of people on set, but still within the universe of General Hospital, that doesn't exist. So they would still staff it kind of competently. So to have that ridiculous scene between Lucy, Lulu, and Maxie, where she just throws on the mic pack, and says, take care of this, and then runs off. There's no stagehand in the back taking care of all this stuff.
Because it's COVID.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean anything. You can have whoever's going out and doing in the far off background of staff of pretending they're restocking these Drake stations, have them also be the stagehand. Yeah, that's the same person.
I can tell you in real time that even if it wasn't COVID, when you were on the set and you put on the mic, they don't put the mic on you. They don't put the mic on yourself, because there, especially if it's a guy mic person and you're a girl, there's rules and laws about that shit. They can't be shoving their hand down here like that for a microphone. They can't be shoving their hand back here for a microphone. That didn't bother me that much. What bothered me is that pack was as big as my head.
It was huge. I'm like,
yeah.
Hello.
I have put on mic packs. I've been around mic packs being put on. There are plenty of ways that you could do it respectfully, where you let the person, you're right there, you're the professional, but like, all right, feed this down your dress. I'll come around and grab it from the other side and plug it in. Plenty of ways to do that. It was unrealistic that there would be nobody back there, and so we could get to this really stupid movement. This is 2020, people. This is 2020. And we're still doing the lame bit, like, I'm going to say it, even though I'm mic'd and it's going out loud. Like, what kind of director is letting that backstage audio going live until they're ready to come out and perform? No director would be doing that.
They do that every year. You hear somebody talking over the mic every year. They do it on the Nurses Ball every year. Every year, you overhear somebody on the microphone saying some shit they shouldn't be saying. It happens every year. But this time, they just had it happen up front.
Okay, I understand the first couple times, like, stupid. But for so many years, you would not think that would be the prime thing you would tell somebody. Like, hey, we're hiring you to run the audio, or you're the director of this. Please make sure nobody's mic is live until they're coming on stage. That would be like rule number 1 right there. There's been too many people burned. You would not bring this up and have it be like, yep, number 1, before you even make sure that the camera is focused, make sure just the audio is just not live until they're actually on stage. Because
you're talking to people. We're all hosts and interviewers. I guess it's the problem. We all know stuff. Yes, it does happen on occasion. Hot mics do happen.
Yeah, turn that light back out, JLJ. I know you're around when you look so blown out. There you go. That's better.
Like,
but just
I'm having bad lighting tonight. I don't know what's going on. It's the lighting gods against me or something. Actually feels cooler than like
the shock looks of everybody as that dumb announcement's made, where it's Mac, huh? It's Robert, huh? Oh, everybody's like, oh, come on.
Yes, it again. I hate the storyline. Everybody in the chat room, yes, you know. Oh yeah, 30 people watching. How much I hate the storyline. I just think they always reveal a secret. Of course, like Carla said, every year that always happens, and I just I want this baby to go away. I'm sorry, it sounds bad. I want it to go away.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've made abortion jokes here or there when Lulu
I'm
and
sorry,
Maxie were on the parapet. I'm like, Lulu, push her off.
Well, here's the thing. Even what's his name goes, if Valentine's like, if you have any secrets,
Yeah.
he's like, MF her, let him out, tell her now.
Yep.
No secrets. You got any secrets?
Because he knows.
You know he got secrets.
Yeah.
I kind of loved Valentine for that, though.
I did too.
But what I'm not loving, I'm going to need him to stop pining for Nina. I'm going to need Nina to stop the puppy dog eyes with him right in front of Jax. And then when he asked her, do you want me to leave? And she don't answer him and go, we got to get ready. Miss Thing, answer the question. That's why he lurking around like a little lost puppy dog. What you doing? I can't.
She was crying,
Yeah,
Carla. She was crying.
Oh, everybody was moved by that song. Even as I say, I'm glad that they finally had like Anna starting to show some interest, because I love Michael Easton and Vanilla Hughes, but as a couple, it's just kind of, it's just not there anymore. But yeah, I was like, all right, finally I might get Anna and Valentine, because Nina needs to work for it.
Needs to work for it. Well, it's funny because Anna and Valentine
had Jax.
A long time ago. Yeah, Jax.
Yeah.
I'm over Jax.
Yeah.
Jax is fine. Stop hating on Jax. Jax is my man, honey. You can't be hating on Jax. I'll let y'all hate on everybody else, but y'all can't hate on Jax. That is
Jax
my boo.
Super douche. Yeah.
That is my boo. Jax is my boo. Stop hating on Jax.
Maybe Jerry Jax.
Jerry Jax.
I enjoy Jax, but my fear is what happens to a lot of splashy returns for the initial storylines. Like, yeah, they got a lot of stuff to do. There's a reason for them to be back on the show. And then once that wraps up, there's really nothing. And they just kind of flounder. And I feel like Jax is in that moment right now where nobody knows what to do with him. He's just kind of there is just to show up in scenes and hang out with Nina.
He's a casualty of COVID.
He doesn't believe it's real.
This was happening to him even before COVID hit. I mean, there really wasn't anything going on with him.
But now he's a casualty of COVID, because I did peep that too. I'm like, ooh, they don't quite know what to do with him right now. That's a shame and disgrace.
They don't.
Like, oh, it's about to get ugly. But what else was ugly was,
yes,
I'm so over Ava and Nicholas. They're getting on my nerves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that your couple? Is that your couple?
Well, no, Frizz is my couple. That's why I'm a little annoyed with this storyline. But I've wanted Ava and Nicholas for a while, and I like Marcus has come in. And it is a different chemistry than it was with Tyler and Nick, but I really want them to get together, even though Nicholas is being a huge douche. But it almost works with Ava, because neither one of them are good people. But it's nice to see Ava being the better one. And I really like her and Nina kind of talking about it in the bathroom. And yeah, if anybody called the slut more eloquently, I'd love to hear it. Because yeah, chronically unfaithful.
That was the line of the week. She said chronically unfaithful. I was like, there we go. 3 children by 3 men. That's right, bitch. I was like, yo, you tell them, girl, chronically unfaithful. I was like, that's the way to say it. It's like entanglements this year. That's my new phrase. She is chronically unfaithful. Mm-hmm.
And all I needed was one line of Ava showing that she did consider Franco's feelings. And it's just like the Legends logic. Okay, I got it. She's like, yeah, I heard she's a host. So, you know, like better now you find out than later. It's like, okay, you've at least considered
Speaking
that.
of Franco, let me just talk about this one moment. Y'all know I always be peeping like costume and hair stuff.
Yes.
There was this one episode where Elizabeth, I was like, girl, what is going on with your hair? Because usually she has like the little curly thing happening. And I'm not sure if like it was a humidity situation going on in the studio that day, but it looked like she couldn't get no curl pattern going on in that hair. And it was, and they sprayed it to stop it from flying away. And so every time she moved, the hair would move like this. I was like, oh, girl. What is, are you doing your own hair? What is happening? And then let me just talk about Cynthia Watros for a second.
Oh my God.
And I've said this before when Frank and I were doing the show. There are moments where Cynthia Watros has major luggage under her eyes, like major. And then there are other times where I'm not sure if they filling it in, if they're putting like some prosthetic, I don't know what it is. But this week in particular, she looked about 40 years younger than she normally looks. And I love Homegirl. That's my girl. But I'm like, the inconsistency with the face, like, boo, aging is a blessing. If you're going to age, go ahead and age. Ain't nothing wrong with having some luggage under your eyes. We don't care. You just keep being Nina. Just keep being Nina and just keep slaying as Nina, and we won't have to be bothered with that luggage under your eyes. I'm just saying.
Yeah, the fans are saying to you, it's the Rona, Carla. It's the Rona.
There ain't that much Rona in the world. I'm sorry. What did it do? Just settle in one part of her face?
Just as an aside, I know we already talked about the costuming for Nina and Jax's dance number. Just a quick thing, that dance number was awful. Like, what are we watching?
I love Cynthia, but yeah, like I was like, why is this here? Just to be like, it almost really, and that was the thing. It's like, it just seems shitty because it's like, okay, we're just going to shove this in Valentine's face. At least we get him sad, which I like, because I think it's cute. Like Carla says, sad puppy dog. Well, girls like puppies, okay?
Hey, get out of here with that. This is true. And to their defense, the number started out kind of cute. It started when she's sitting in the chair and she's kicking, kicking, da, 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 da. It's cute. It was when she got up out the chair that it turned into the Rhythmless Nation for her and for him. I'm like, what is happening right now? There was this moment where she went to turn and it was like a weeble is wobbling and not falling down. I'm like, Lord, help them, for they know not what they do. I was like, it was like, I can't even find nothing. Yes, I can. It was like this. It was like.
Well, when you look up white boy in the dictionary, there's a picture of Jack. So, like, what?
But the way it was edited too, it felt like that there'd be close-up shots. Like they had gone back with like professional dancers and said, "All right, let's get some at least somewhat competent moves, because we'll only show like their legs or feet in these key moments." Because it was.
They're loving Rhythmless Nation. They're loving that.
What telethon is going to be put on such a terrible act like that and go like, if people are going to call in and want to give money, because this is quality entertainment we're giving.
I wouldn't give 5 cents to that. That was a hot mess. The best part about it was the she graphic in the background.
Why you like
that? Real quick, my other terrible Nurses Ball performance was the last song. Oh, that was so garbagey. And especially with a little picture within picture of the rest of the cast, like walking down the hallway of the Nurses Ball. It was like, it was with their giant heads, like Epiphany or Amy, and then we just see Ava and Nicholas walking down the hall.
It was sweet, awful. But it went on too long. It was about 3 minutes too long. It was a really sweet number, but it was too long. And because it was too long, that's why they were cutting the people walking down the hall, leaving the hospital. I'm like, really?
But Liz's bitch face was spot on in that. I will say, I did enjoy that. I'm like, as much as I think her disliking Ava, at least up until this point, was a little out of left field, because it's like, she's been Franco's friend for a while and you hadn't had a problem since, but okay. But that bitch face, on point. I loved it.
Cherie R said, it's for charity, you guys. It's for charity.
It's TV. I don't care. It's TV. And they trying to suspend the belief that it was for charity and it was for a good cause. I can appreciate that. I can appreciate anything that is for charity. I have a good heart, and so does James and Lacretia and Frank. But we're talking about a TV show. And that TV show, telethon, charity-a-thon, dance number-ish, whatever the hell it was busted, broke down, Rhythmless Nation from point A to point B.
They love your Rhythmless Nation.
You didn't even like, we had the original songs by James Patrick Stewart and Little William Lipton were amazing. And then, of course, Wally's number, it's always great. I always love when he and Lisa perform together. So it's like, you didn't like that? Those were all done really well.
I like the kids singing around the campfire. That was cute. I like the kids singing around the campfire. But again, because I sing, there was one moment where the background vocals came in and Joss and Trina were like, Not singing nary lyric. I'm like, and then at one point, Josh still wasn't doing it, and Trina kind of got with the program. I'm like, oh, y'all didn't rehearse that, huh?
Well, I mean, they don't really get rehearsal time as part of it. And usually with the Nurses Ball, they put a lot more into it than they do with other things. But yeah, I mean, we're talking, they let them maybe have 2 takes. It's almost like a game show or, you know, some of those that's really fast.
Yeah.
For the amount of time that they had, they did a great job, you know, but I was like.
And my other quote of the week was when Nick was about to go on stage to talk about, you know, stuff. And David goes, break a leg. And I do really mean break a leg.
Break a leg.
I chuckled all the way. I chuckled them out. I thought it was just kind of funny.
Yeah, I love the 2 of them together, and their little banter is good. And I'm surprised Nicholas didn't sing. Yeah, because Marcus is a singer too. Yeah.
They didn't have a lot of performances this year. They were just kind of like, here's a couple sprinklings.
Yeah.
I think because they probably didn't have enough crew to cover it, don't you think?
Yeah.
And they were trying to probably minimize the amount of time that people were in the studio too.
True.
Because I'll be interested to know, like, numbers wise, like if anybody ends up testing positive as a result of that, because they were up in each other's face, you know what I mean?
Well, you know, Bold and Y&R had a couple of positive things.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
At Bold, they're standing 6 feet apart on camera.
It's real awkward.
They usually blow up dolls. There's all kinds on that show. Like, and they tested positive. These folks, everybody commented on that. They were very close to each other. Everybody was close to each other. It was like
everybody in this show was they were all up in each other's face. I'm like, let's remember. And what was that? There was that moment. I think there was that one moment where it looked like Nicholas and Ava were gonna kiss, and then they cut away from it. You didn't actually see them kiss, but I'm like, they might as well had kissed. They was this close to each other's face. What's the?
Well,
really?
Maybe you can sign a waiver to be like, look, I'm okay with his germs. I mean, I know we'd all probably pick a few.
Well, you know, we also had, we can't forget we had Olivia and Robert. I'm already calling it a fair alert, or should I say entanglement?
There's definitely gonna be an entanglement.
He touched her knee like 5 times. I was like, okay, go on, Robert.
What about that moment on the carpet though, where they were like, oh, you're not attached to anybody? He's like, I'm keeping my options open, and then that camera cut to Ned like, brother, if you even look like you're gonna touch my wife, it's gonna be consequences and repercussions. Like that, I laughed out loud. That was funny.
Okay, and I want to just give a shout out to Wally Kurth, who is literally killing it on 2 soaps at the same time in both majors and like in storylines. Like he is just like, I saw him on 2 shows. This week he's on almost every day on both shows. I mean, he's just like killing it. That's why I give a shout out to him. That's just fun to see him do different roles on the same time. He's working it out.
Well, I mean, I like the scene between him and Olivia backstage where she calls him out and says, I've seen, I know how your grandfather was toxic in the way that he thought he was trying to do good, but it was really terrible. And I see you still going down the same path. So like we were talking about last week, I really like seeing her being that Lila to, his burgeoning Edward.
Yeah. But see, the thing is, and I don't mind the storyline. This storyline I don't mind. Good. Let's shake it up. They're all age appropriate. I love it. I have no problem with that. Would Olivia cheat? I don't know, folks. Maybe she would. If the right situation, she sees her son Dante, she gets excited and falls into his arms. Who knows? I think there's something.
I'm glad that they finally let her say something, because for a minute she was just emoting and leaving the screen. I'm like, Lisa is fierce. Can we let her say something? Can we give her some love?
Yes.
Can we give her some screen time? Like, she's fierce. Can we just like see her do something? Like, yeah. They were paying so much attention to. They are beginning to have a real issue with spreading the wealth around. Like, they get stuck on stupid in one storyline, and then they just stay in that one storyline too long. Like the whole court case thing with Nell. It was forever. Oh, and speaking of which, can we just talk about the fact that, and I said this before, Michael E. Knight, I'm going to need him to pick an accent. Either you're going to have a Southern accent or you not. And I love you, Michael E. Knight, but pick an accent. Either you're not going to have one or you not. Either you are or you not.
Here's what's funny. I love him too. I started thinking, what if him and Lucy got together?
See, that would be really fun, because that would work, because, he's, of course, Valentine's only friend, which is cute. And I thought he was very moved by his song. I thought he was hitting on him. It was really funny. I'm like, oh, but maybe Marty doesn't swing that way.
I mean, if they go the route where he says, "Hey, if you need, am I going to be your corporate attorney?" I'm down. Please, yes, let him be a corporate attorney. We can get him more involved in some action.
Me too.
And then I also loved when he when he and Nell had that little conversation and she fired him. And she was like, so, whatever. And he's like, oh, so he's like, I'll send you my bill. And she's all, but I didn't win. He said, oh, you think that's how this works? He's like, no, ma'am. He's like, this is not charity work. I screamed.
He's gonna bury her alive like he did Duke Lavery.
Right? I screamed because I was like, homegirl was like, oh shoot, I need to bounce. I need to leave town in the middle of the night like a criminal.
If he was like, I'm a lawyer, so it's like, don't be like, oh, he's like, and he was like, no, you'll be paying me money. Don't worry. He's like, don't worry, you're gonna be paying me. Like he was like, no, bitch, you're gonna be paying me.
She looked like one of them people that was behind on their rent, that was scared the landlord was gonna come for them and snuck out in the middle of the night in that moment. Oh, that made me laugh out loud. It was fun.
But yeah, like we were saying, I would think because Michael and I could do comedy also, so I'm thinking that could be a fun kind of comedic, interesting system, and have them stay around along and bring her more too. I like her on the show, so more of her on there.
Yeah, I love Lucy. I kind of hope that Abe was wrong that this, at least this year, since it is kind of true, the Nurses Ball has been the only time she's relevant, but she's an interesting character. And now we have Deception and her involved with like Sasha and Maxie and Valentine. I do feel like we're going to have more of her.
And Sasha, why are we trying to set Sasha up as a drug addict? Like, I don't need to see that.
But see, I hated how long the slow, awkward storytelling descent that we saw they did with Alexis when they made her an alcoholic.
Yeah.
I have zero interest in seeing that done again with Sasha, watching her go down this cocaine rabbit hole. It's just like, make her an addict right now. Just make her an addict right now. She's an addict. She's just deep into it. Please don't beat me over the head with more awkward interchanges with PAs or that have cocaine that they just want to give out for free.
Do you think Michael and Chase are gonna fess up about what they did?
Please, Lord, let it happen.
Yeah.
I mean, not Michael, but Chase and Willow fess up about what they did.
Just do it already. Because
now they're setting up Willow to be her and Michael getting close. And yes, my mom married my mom, and Tracy married my mom's uncle Luke. And things happen. We got conventional marriages, and I'm like, they're trying to set up you guys.
Yeah, but it's so where Willow and Michael were able to have conversations that didn't revolve strictly around a child before this whole thing happened. When they first met, they're both in the grief counseling and stuff. But now all they can seem to talk about is it always has to be Wiley centric, and it is annoying. It is annoying to watch.
It's all about Wiley right now.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's what brought them together.
My favorite scene with Michael and Willow was, of course, when they were talking to Valentine and Marty, and being snarky, which as much as like it was annoying, it almost worked because they are sort of the millennial characters. So them being a little snarky and entitled was funny. And again, with the eloquent put downs, Valentine's like, Willow, I respect you as a third grade teacher. Like, basically, it's like, stay in your lane.
He read her. He was like, let me open the book real quick. Let's remind you who you be. Oh yeah, third grade teacher. That's who you are. This is Corinthos. Mrs. Corinthos. He was like, he's like,
that was a good burn.
Like, little girl, I got this, little girl. That's what he wanted to say. I got this. But I like that Michael's kind of like, the quartermain's not going to lay down.
And I didn't hate mildew. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
One last thing about Ned, before we move on to other things like Julian and that old ridiculousness. So Ned, living, you gotta find Brooklyn, and you've got to set things right with her. So then he goes on this super, super, super abbreviated search where he just goes into one of the rooms and says, "Anybody seen Brooklyn? No, maybe she's in one of the rehearsal rooms. We could go check." "Oh yeah, would you mind doing that?" What do you mean, Ned? Why are you looking in the dressing rooms? You were the one that's trying to find her. Why are you sending other people to go find her for you? And there was nothing to be gained by Lulu and Dustin being the ones to find her. Why not have Ned be the one to find her like that?
Well, because Dustin is going to now be close to her. That's the whole point. He found her that
Dusty.
They're setting it up. I'm seeing it. They're setting it up. I know it's lazy. It's lazy. I mean, I'm saying that they're choosing this direction to go. I see it. I see it head on.
I feel like with Dustin, I want to like him more. I don't dislike him, but I also feel like the show really hasn't done much to give me a lot about this character anyway. He's very much a cipher at this point.
Well, you know, like I'm looking at them. Do you think they're trying to put Brando and Sam together?
I think so. Yeah.
It feels like it doesn't. It feels like that. I'm like,
Yeah, every time people hate each other, they're gonna have sex, and you know, especially Sam.
Right. And even though he's becoming friends with TJ, you know, it's kind of funny and that whole thing. And he's up with Molly. I mean, that's gonna come out eventually too at some point. I mean, this is all ticking time bombs. They're sitting dormant until they're ready to bring it out. I mean, it's like, but they're sitting there again. We see them setting it up. They're setting it all up.
You box, bro?
I know you box.
Box? One thing is just, you know, as much as we want to salute the actors, we do, and only diminish, you know, they have to act whatever these storylines are, so they do their best there. The actress playing Molly, I need her to dial down the deer in the headlights look anytime Brando shows up, and then it just cuts to Molly, and she's like, something's gonna happen.
You slept with him when you thought your man you guys were over or whatever. Like it's like like I mean, it wasn't like you did it. You know, I mean, it's these old tropes they do. They just bug me sometimes.
Yeah. All right.
This might be the one time On a Break worked.
All right, the Julian stuff. First, shout out to.
I like
of course, we have no kids on the set because of the COVID and all that stuff. So I love that they spared no expense to get a really fuzzy camera to shoot those awkward photos at the baby's real home of being in the crib. Like
it's like a nanny cam. So like I was like, that's kind of cute because that's what you'd think. Like, oh, the nanny cam, Wiley, okay, because that kid is adorable.
Yes.
Yeah. But you know, GH, send over. You know, a show I'm working on, we're sending over microphones to record people. Send over a better camera. You know, just something that you can shoot a better looking picture of that kid instead of laying there all hazy in that crib. Oh, so awful. Yeah, and I have a tough time knowing how kids are, and especially if you give them a stuffed animal that they really love, and it's a kangaroo that has a small little roux in its pouch that you can pull out. That kid has not already found that tracker is not falling out already. That's unbelievable to me because I know how kids can just go over a toy.
I agree. I agree.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But I do. It was kind of funny watching Julian pour for Monica. There's a music. Fell asleep. Like, poor Monica, poor Lizzie Charlton. Why do that? Why do that to homegirl? Yeah. Like, come on. So that made me kind of chuckle a little bit. And then when she woke up, it's like I don't remember anything. I was just watching TV, and I don't know what happened. And I was like, Grandma, come on, wake up, lady. And then Willow did it, and somebody said in the chat room, Willow, I need you to be a little more upset that Wally's not in the bed.
Yes.
She kind of came down the stairs like she was like, you know, floating down. It's kind of like, Michael, there's a problem. Like, no, bitch, the problem is my child ain't in the bed. Yeah. Why aren't we screaming? Why aren't we tolerant? That scared the shit. I was like, I'd be like, oh my God, there's no baby. I mean, like, she's just like, Michael, we have a problem. There's no baby. Okay, I mean, a little bit, but it just seemed like people in chat room agree with me. It seemed like he was kind of like, should be a little more upset. But I
do like Mary Poppins. I can't handle it.
Okay, floating down the stairs.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the character either. It's because they don't seem to know what to do with her. First, she's a little on edge all the time, and this would be one of those situations where that would have warranted that attitude of like that she could pull off. So it's like, why did we have her be so calm? It's like,
I know, but I like Julian's hair. First of all, I do love it. So you gotta love it. And I like the fact though that at the end he was like,
no,
change of plans. I was like, yeah, finally he grew some balls. I was like, yeah, there's Julian's balls in that gun. Yeah, that's right. And her face was like, wait a minute. This wasn't the plan. Like, what's going on? But he was like, why is he in the car? She's like, well, just put him in your car, put him in my car. No, she's like, well, that's nice, but I got this. Just put him in my car. He was like, no, that's not happening. And he's so calm about it. He's just like, that's not happening. He goes, and I'm done with you now, bitch. And he's like, pull a gun out. And I was like, yes. They thought of when everyone was like, why haven't you killed him yet? I'm like, yes, come on, Julian. This is little
yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love that they had him flash back to thinking that and then have these thoughts. And I like the Will scene where he was just talking to himself and sort of being like, yeah, why am I doing this? What the hell? What have I done?
Right.
And yeah, because it's like, Julian, you've killed your friend Carlos in cold blood. You can kill Nell, same place even, right?
Right.
Like, yeah, shoot her dead. Who cares? Like,
yeah.
and that's kind of what I do wonder if Nell will die here at least soon, or this is what happens, because we did have that throwaway line with Nina about, I don't know if my kid could even be dead. And that might be the thing, is Nina goes kind of crazy in the idea that she knew her kid, and that's the last thing she did.
That could be it.
I would love if the show was audacious enough to have Julian kill Nell right in that moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Knowing the way they write Julian,
No.
Julian always talks tough and then immediately caves. So I have no reason to doubt that he's immediately holding this gun at Nell. So I'm bummed. I would love for him.
Plus, Frank, they keep talking about that godforsaken necklace. So
yes.
there has to be a payoff with that godforsaken necklace. There has to be a payoff with that, clearly. So they keep talking about it. You're wearing your necklace. I see you wearing the necklace. The necklace. I'm like, it's the elephant in the room that's not even an elephant. It bugs the F out of me. So I'm like, okay, folks, we get it. We get it. I mean, I don't want to see a necklace anymore. I don't want to see the second halves of it. Either put it together, make it one whole heart, and let's see who the daughter is. Or I'm like, that's where I'm like, I'm done. Done. I'm like, come on. But so there has to be a payoff. So that's why I can't kill Nell. There has to be a payoff.
Yeah.
The necklace.
Yeah, to me, I kind of hate that Nell would die like before all of that. But yeah, I kind of wonder if that's not where they're going, or at least, I mean, I really do hope Julian shoots her. As much as I like Chloe and the Nell character and kind of hope she comes back, it's not like people don't come back from the dead the whole time. Or she can be in a coma and then Nina can feel like she did when she was in one. Just something, because yeah, it's like, where do we go from here?
And I mean, I don't know. I mean, certainly the Quartermaine Mansion has had their share of intruders throughout the years. Everybody just seems to be able to show up whenever they want. But I'm also thinking too, if you're one of Port Charles' elite, wouldn't you have some sort of security, or at least cameras or something, so that if something like this happens, you're able to ease, or at least hopefully have a starting point about finding out who is responsible for anything?
To me, yeah. My thing with Julian is he could have had a real reason to be there, as in Leo is his son. So I don't know why he had to do the whole sneaking in thing, because he could have just sort of had a reason to be there, come up behind Monica, done the same exact thing, but it would have been smarter to be like, oh, I'm here to see Leo. Like, the breaking in is just what made it super creepy, but funnier. Yeah.
You like them creepy. You like them all creepy.
Yeah. I do.
I know. I'm not no creepy. You like them creepy.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's like the show did what it could do with what they could do with. But I guess there are just a few. I think we're all trying to say there are a few storylines, and people seem to agree with us in here, where it just, there's ways it can make sense. Again, I don't want to be a soap writer. It's a lot of hard work. I don't want to do it. But I think there's some things that we, all four of us watch this show. We've watched it for a while. And there's very many avenues you can go to get to a desired place. And sometimes it feels either lazy or far-fetched, or just like, why'd you pick that? And we know there's always an A, B, and C. So why'd you pick D? That bugs me sometimes. So I think we all know there's ways you can get there.
And so we have Taggart coming back, which is great.
I think we're going to end on.
Yeah, we've all said that. Yeah.
Taggart!
I also feel like, so what, he just showed up for this episode to like, okay guys, yeah, guess what? He really was alive this whole time, even though you should have known that by now. And now he's just going to go into hiding for another 4 months until this is all resolved. Why not play it where he can help Jordan now? Everybody thinks he's dead. He's an asset to this investigation instead of being sent off back to whatever safety house he's hiding out in. It's frustrating.
I'm hoping that's not the case.
Yeah.
I hope that he does defy her because he wants to kill Cyrus. It was good to see good old my buddy Real Gentry's back. I love him. Mm-hmm. So I think he's good. I think, and I think that Trina is Curtis's daughter. That's going to come out. I don't think it's done.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think, I'm sorry, Portia. Sorry, girl. I just think, they keep talking about him and Curtis.
Yeah.
Her and Curtis. Like there's something on, and they, something,
Yeah, Trina hates him so much, he either has to be her father or they have to have sex. And that's not okay because she's a child. So it's got to be the other one. It's just like, yeah, that's the way these soaps work. When you hate each other, you either turn out to be family or you have sex. Like sometimes both. I don't know.
He is not having sex with an underage child. We
No.
are not going there.
Yeah, I said they're not going there. So he's got to be your dad.
That's a way of saying it, yes.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think he's her dad. I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Trina will have two daddies, basically, and that's going to be the deal. And I think I'm fine. I'm actually fine with that. I guess give Curtis something. I don't know, any screen time for my man Donnell makes me happy anyway. But I think seeing Real back too. I as a person, I just love him. Personally, I just love him to death. And he's really good at what he playing Taggart. It's good to see him back on campus after all those years. So I'm hoping Frank is not correct. But we know how JH is, that he will come back more frequently and disrupt stuff. That he's not just gonna go away and just they can't. I hope not.
Yeah.
Hope not.
And I don't even know if I want him to disrupt stuff. I want him to actually be a hero in this storyline. Like everybody thinks he's dead. He's a perfect partner to be with Jordan right now to do stuff and nobody's even going to suspect.
Cyrus can't die yet. They set him up too big now. He's too big right now.
And you don't even have to kill him right now, but at least actively working to get information to finally bring him down. That can take a while, but at least he can be on canvas still hunting around, searching for stuff. I think maybe.
They should shoot him in the leg or something. Just injure him for a little bit. Just shoot him in the kneecap or something. Make him limp for a while. Because that character, he's a good actor, but he is so smarmy and creepy. Whenever he does his little speech to the ball, I'm like, ooh, I felt smarmy afterwards. I was like, that actor is so good. I was like, nobody likes you. Nobody likes you. And you just smile and I'm so glad I have a change in my life. I'm like, nobody cares. Nobody cares about you.
On the plus side, though, I think hardly anybody was watching this Nurses Ball in poor Charles' life. So I don't think anybody really heard his speech anyway.
Shade is real. The shade is real. And we're going to end it now. We're going to end the show because we can't go on forever. This is just too much.
Okay, so one last thing.
Yeah.
I would have thought it would have been an awesome idea for General Hospital, if they're doing this whole telethon, to open up phone lines for real and have the actors working real phone lines.
Everybody was that in here. They said it should be some fan interaction. It should have said something with something with the audience, call this number. Maybe you'll hear your favorite star or something. Could have been really interesting.
And you could have just done a telethon, raised real money. If you're going to do this, then do a real telethon and raise real money. That would have been cool.
I like that idea. No, seriously, I like that idea. People have brought that up in here. So you're not the only person, Frank. People have brought it that.
And I'm the only one on camera who said it. So it counts more.
That's right, kids. He's on camera. He's the only one who said it. But I'm just saying, Frank, the fans are agreeing with you.
Yeah, I like Cherie in the chat too, says they wanted to see Brad watching the Nurses Ball in jail. I said, yeah, I wanted that too. And we do have the bridge coming back, so maybe Brad is too.
I know.
Yeah.
And yes, I did see people in here mentioning Lucas and Felix to get together. I mentioned that last week on the show. Why not? Let's see some more Mark Anthony Samuel, my buddy. Let's see more Ryan Carnes. Let's see more of them. I'd love it. Sure, why not?
Why was Felix not in that last number when we had that one rando nurse?
Yeah, that blonde chick. I was like, gee, who that is?
Well, I think she was the one who wrote the song, was why she was there.
Oh, I think you're right. I think you're right. I think so.
That's okay. Some people should just be a songwriter.
Sorry, chick. I didn't say that. And I keep forgetting. I really do. I keep forgetting to look up the other little black nurse's name. I keep forgetting she's cute. I keep forgetting her name, but shout out to her too, because she showed up in a couple of numbers too. I'm like, Epiphany, my girl Sonia Eddy, we love her, of course. But she shows up too. She has a great voice also, and I forgot to mention her, and I keep forgetting her name. So, Black Nurse number 2, we love you. Love you, girl. We love you, girl. And Amy looked good. I was like, go on, Lisa. She looked good. She looked really good. I was like, okay. She has some extensions in her hair and everything. She was working it out. I was like, okay, girl. Looking good. Mm-hmm.
She lost some weight, though. She lost about a good 30 pounds.
She did. They trotted her out. So I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, go on, girl. She looks good. She looks nice and it was good. So it was good. It's good to see someone. They all have great voices, so it's good to see them. And everything. But yeah, she's a song. I think you're right. She's a songwriter. Everybody's talking about that. But people are confused. Was it for HIV? Was it for?
Yeah.
Anna's speech was cute. I would say that Anna's speech was kind of cute.
Yeah.
I thought that was good. Like going back to why religion was started and Robin. It's like folks don't forget why this started. And seeing Sonny get a little teary-eyed, I like that. I was like, that's how it started. So let's like not forget that.
But for Robert to tell Olivia, it's like, I better get going because Anna's gonna be mad at me for not being there for the speech. Oh, just tell her what you're doing and she'll be fine with it. I don't know. We'll see. What? What do you mean? Why would she not be fine with that? Get out of here. That was a dumb line.
Like I said, they do stuff like that. Sometimes you're going, what? So that's your GH for the week, folks. Made through James Lott Jr. and Company here on JLJ Media. It's always cooler in the shade. So let's start with with the Curvy Critic. Tell folks where they can find you and what's going on.
Y'all can find me across all social media platforms at the Curvy Critic. Thanks for joining us. Love hanging with y'all. You know, it's cool. It's cool to hang with y'all on a Sunday evening, you know. And then I do my show at 5:00 on my YouTube channel, The Curvy Critic with Carla Renata. So you can catch it on YouTube or on Facebook Live. And I'm moderating a panel with Emmy nominees Robin Thede and Dime for the Black Lady Sketch Show on American Cinematique. So if you guys have seen that show or you're fans of it, pop on over there to watch that tomorrow.
Love that show. Love that show. It's hilarious. I love it. That's great. Go on, Carla. So follow her YouTube channel, The Curvy Critic, right? It's your YouTube channel, The Curvy Critic. So go ahead and follow it, folks. Give her a follow. Give her some followers and watch her content. I told you to. So watch her content. Now, we'll go below to Lacretia Lyon, who's got all kind of things too. So Lacretia, tell me they can find you what you're doing.
Hey guys, since I'm Lacretia Lyon, you can always find me at LACRETIALYON anywhere on the internet since there is only one. And if you like listening to me talk about soap operas, you can go to Believe in Soap Operas. That's BLEAV. And that's anywhere you can find this audio. So your iTunes, Spotify, iHeartMedia, whatever podcast app you use if you just want to listen to me. But yeah, and then if you want to listen to me play somebody else, the Forever and a Day podcast, I play a lesbian, Caitlin Harper. So yeah, spoiler alert.
Yes, I love it. And the show is on Mondays and Fridays here on JLJ Media. It's an audio soap opera. We're taking old school and making it with new technology. So she's good. We all love Caitlin and Colin's relationship, brother and sister.
Yeah. And I get to work with Beth Ellers in the coming weeks, guys. So
yes, you do. I know. It's really good.
Yeah.
Now, the guy over here, my buddy over here, what are you doing these days, Frank? What's going on?
I have absolutely nothing going on. Nothing. Want to find out how little I have going on? Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at HappyGoJackie. There's really nothing there, so you won't have to take much of your time.
That is hilarious. Well, I'm James Lott Jr. You can follow me where all James Lott Jrs are sold at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms, including TikTok. And JLJ Media, I got 30 shows on the network, and so there's something for you, I'm sure. So take a look and follow me at JLJ Media on all of the platforms, on all streaming services, and here on YouTube. So please follow me. Please, I need you. And thank you so much for tuning into us on Sunday. Thank you to our nearly 40 people who watched us live. You guys are amazing. Everybody's hoping Jace gets better. We hope so too. Take care, everybody. Bye.